Habs win! Woo! And what a game it was! Let's go! Ale, 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 Montreal. I love when that song plays in the Bell Center, and it had been so long. I think it was 5 games of a losing streak, and I scared my cat with all the screaming. But hey, woo! Ole Ole is going for a while. Second game in a row, but the first time in Montreal for a while, because, you know, they played in the Senators on Saturday, and the Oles were going from the first period, but we hadn't had the Oles in Montreal for a while, so let's go! Okay. Whew. Let's talk about the game a little bit. So, a few comments apart from all the excitement. Beating Carolina 4-0 in Montreal after having lost, I think it was 9 games in a row against them, and we always play like ass. Like every time we play really bad against them. At least since I started watching, it's like, I don't know, it's Minnesota, Carolina. Like every time we play one of those teams, it seems like we just disappear. So watching them play yesterday, it was amazing. It was really nice seeing them win like that, and whew, what a game it was. So, a few things that I wanted to mention. So after the first period, when we're leading 2-0, we kept it tight. We kept it. We didn't give them any chances to come back, and I was thinking that the whole time. So after the first period, and when we come back in the second, I was just thinking to myself, like, let's not give them any chances. You know, keep the game tight. Keep them don't take any risky chances to generate offense. You're already up by 2. You know, like the Habs have not been great holding a lead. Like during the month of December to January, when we were really good and we went on that stretcher for like a lot of wins and whatnot, most of them were comeback wins. Most of them we were behind and we would come back and win the game. We didn't play with the lead much, right? And I mentioned that, and I started my videos, I think it was the game after the Toronto game where we were winning by 3 and then lost 7-3. And since then I've been mentioning, like, the Habs have not been able to hold a lead, right? Because we held a lead and we were 3 up, and then they score 7. So when I see the Habs being 2 up against Carolina, which is a pretty good team on paper, yes, they're struggling recently, but like they're a pretty good team, right? They're second in their division. They're like in the top of the Eastern. They just got Rantanen, which, by the way, had a horrible game. I'll more on that later. But like, yeah, I wasn't very confident that we were going to be able to hold the lead, you know, because we have a lot of young talent that like to take chances. They're not very responsible when they need to be. We have veteran defensemen that also like to take chances. Matheson. But, you know, they did it. And they actually scored 2 more after that. So, pretty good effort. Like you love to see that from everyone in the roster. Actually, I just mentioned Matheson, where he usually, you know, gives some bad some chances to the other team, you know, because he coughs up the puck or whatever. I think he had a pretty good game. I think he actually played really well. He had good sticks, interrupting passes. He had like a sequence of like 2 interrupted passes in a row, which caught my eye. He was defensively responsible, kept it simple. And when Matheson keeps it simple, I think it's when he plays best. So yeah, good to see from him. He didn't have a good game against the Senators, I don't think. But he came back on this one, and hopefully he can remain like that. Monty came in clutch, so he gets a shout out. Obviously, that's amazing on its own, right? I think it's the 4th shout out of the season. The commentators mentioned he's just behind Hellebuck. He's probably tied with a bunch of other goalies, but like still good, right? It was only 20 saves or 21 saves. They always change the shot attempts later on, but around 20 saves, which doesn't sound like much, but some of those saves were clutch at the right moment too, because we were up by 1, they get a chance, Monty shuts the door. We were up by 2, they get a chance, Monty shuts the door. Then they get a bunch of chances when we're up by 2 to make it 2-1, and a 2-1 game can go anywhere, right? So Monty shuts the door when we needed him to, We scored the third one, and then he keeps shutting the door. Like, Carolina got a bunch of really good chances. Like, Monty had to make some amazing saves. Out of those 20 saves, I think at least 5 were really dangerous chances that he'd stopped. So he comes in clutch, saves, gives us a chance to win the game, and we do. So that's what you want from your goalie, right? And he brings that. I think he's had a good stretch of 2 games after coming from with the energy of the 4 nations. I think that obviously helps him with his confidence, helps him have that vibe, bring it to the team after winning with Canada, right? Even if he didn't play, he was with the players, he was in the locker room with all of them, so he absorbs all that and brings it to the Habs, right? Well, that's what you hope. So really good to see, and well-deserved shutout, I think. Like I said, only 20 shots, but very dangerous 20 shots. Like, I don't know Carolina much. I'm not going to pretend like I know their game, but from what I heard, that's their game style. Like, they keep the puck in your zone a lot. They don't have a lot of dangerous chances, but they only the few shots that they do get in or through are dangerous shots or generate dangerous opportunities for them. So really nice to see. I gave kudos to Matheson, and I think the defense overall was pretty good. From what I heard, again, I'm not an expert on Carolina's game plan, but they like to put the puck deep, chase it, and they have a really good forecheck, and they force you to make mistakes in your zone. But our defense positioned themselves pretty well, knowing this ahead of time, and they use their speed. So good position plus speed. They didn't allow Carolina to use their speedy guys to retrieve the puck. And our forwards also played a good role in that. They put a lot of pressure in the neutral zone. Like, the second period, I think it was only 8 shots combined between 2 teams. Like, that was a really tight, boring, sure, but we were in the lead, so it was like a good kind of boring. Boring period, right? But you want to keep it boring. You want to keep it tight like that when you're in the lead. And I think that's what the Habs need to do whenever they have at least a 2-goal lead, right? So really good to see. Hudson, oh my God, Hudson. They highlighted it on in the intermission. All of this in TSN, by the way. They highlighted it in the intermission, but he retrieves the puck from Rantanen and just like fakes him one way. Rantanen turns around, and then Hudson just like takes the puck and like skates it away out of his stick. Then I think it was against Stahl, who's also a big keep the puck on his stick guy. Just like checks him, gets good body positioning, moves it away. He also, I mean, he's great on offense, gets a goal, great, all that. But like, we know all about his offense. We know he's really good at offense, and he's gonna generate chances and whatnot. I like to highlight his defensive play because everybody's just like, oh, he's just a power play merchant or whatever, or like he's just like power play specialist. Like, no, he's actually super good everywhere on the ice, and it's his rookie year. He's hopefully gonna keep on improving from here. So, future's bright. Let's go, boys. Yeah, the offense was engaged. We tried to keep the puck in their zone, although we couldn't do much the second period. But here's the thing. I gave kudos to the defense, and I really like how Jacky plays, or how he's been playing after October. He had a rough start to the season, but he adapted, and I think he has been playing a lot more smartly. He's been using his body, his roughness whenever it's necessary, but not all the time, because he knows the refs are going to call it all the time, right? Like, the refs have an eye on him, and he knows. So he's been a lot more smarter about that. And you like how he plays with Savard. They synergize well and all that. And I think overall he had a good game, but he had 2 penalties. The first one I didn't like the refs calling it, but the second one, even though it was very soft, he needs to be better. He needs to be smarter. Why? Carolina is down 3-0, I think, or 2-0 at that point. And the Habs have the majority of power plays. So I think Carolina got called like 3-4 times in a row. So it's been like 4 power plays to 1. The refs are going to make a makeup call. They're going to make a game balancing call. they're gonna call anything you do. Anything. So Xhaka usually gets away with a little interference, and a lot of players do get away with a little interference here and there, which is fine. But you don't want to give Carolina any chances, and you've been playing pretty well during the second period to not give Carolina any chances, right? And you know the refs are going to call anything you do. They're just looking for any Hab to make a mistake. You are the Hab that gets the most calls because they have an eye on you, like I just said. You can't do that. You need to be even more careful. They get the power play. Thankfully, they don't score because our our penalty kill was pretty good. And they showed that out there, but like Monty had to make some saves, and we got pretty lucky with some bounces. Like, I'll go on a brunch a little bit here, but like we were fairly lucky during the whole game. The Lina goal, that's ridiculous. It redirects it, then bounces from one guy to the other guy into the net. Bounces on Rantanen, by the way, who I'll get to him. It's just like I'll keep on piling up because like it was ridiculous how bad of a game he had. Anyways, like he bounces off, and then on their power play, they have a few shots that bounce off and just barely miss the net. Or Rantanen has an empty net and just like hits the post or barely goes out. Like we were fairly lucky. The buck was on our side on yesterday's game. So Xhaka needs to be more careful. He cannot give those chances at that stage of the game. Like I said, it was a very soft call, but the refs are just looking to make any call. He needs to be smarter about that. Speaking of our PK, I think Matheson was out there for 2 minutes of the full PK, and then he gets stuck on the ice for another minute and a half. So at some point, I think we iced the puck, and Matheson has been out there for over 3 minutes. I was looking for Martin Saint-Louis to take his timeout there. I know, but hear me out. Hear me out. I know it's ridiculous. I like, let me set the context. We're talking about, I think it was midway through or late in the second period, and we're winning up by 3 goals. We're up by 3 goals, but Matheson has been out there for 3 minutes. So I'm saying take a timeout after icing the puck, because where's the puck? I think right there he should have taken a timeout. Why? You give Matheson enough time to rest for a little bit so he's not tired out there. And you stop their momentum, because obviously they had a power play and they kept the puck in our zone and they had the momentum. Why would you not use it? When would you use it instead? I'm saying use it here to stop their momentum, to give Matheson a rest and not give them the chance, right? Because otherwise it's going to be, they have the momentum, they have a tired defenseman in our team, and they're going to capitalize on that. They're going to try to capitalize on that. Obviously they don't, but it's a chance, right? It's a dangerous opportunity. It's an opportunity for them to get one in, and once they get one in, they're only 2 away, and you know that opens the floodgates, right? So like, we cannot give them any chances. So I'm saying take the timeout, kill the momentum, give your defenseman a rest, and continue on, right? If you don't take the timeout, then where do you take it? Do you take it when they score twice? After they score 2 times and you need to kill the momentum there to not have them tie up the game? Do you take the timeout after they tied it up and you need a push? I'm saying take the timeout earlier, preemptively. Yes, not usually what you see in the NHL, but like, just do it. Like, he didn't take the timeout at all, which is fine. Obviously we won by 4, but I don't know. I would like him to get more creative, more aggressive with his timeouts. Sometimes I think he keeps them too much, and like he either never gets to use them or uses them because we gave them chances and they came back. Anyways, little thought that I had as well. Slavkovsky. Woo! It's so good to see Slavkovsky finally play well again, because I saw him the second half of the last season, and I really expected him to start from there this season. But we all watch him. He was rough. He couldn't figure it out, and he was too much in his head. And we all knew he has everything. We all know he has everything to do what he did last season, at the end of last season, right? But he wasn't able to put it together until after the Four Nations. Hopefully he keeps it up. So amazing game on Saturday. Everyone touted him, and I'm one of those two. Amazing game, and he brings it to the start of this game. Clutch goal to start the scoring. Obviously, Carolina is a very good defensive team that like to keep the puck in your zone and hem you in, right? And by us scoring first, we kind of changed their game plan, right? Because if they score first, then they're just going to keep the puck in our zone, and they're not going to take any chances, and they're going to shut down the game, right? But because we score first, they need to take chances to come back, right? And they need to they can't shut down the game. So it's a very important goal in my opinion. And he was also hitting hard on the first period. He generated that chance by retrieving the puck. Actually, I think that was a different chance, but he put himself in front of the net against like big bodies. Like Carolina has big defensemen out there. Slavin, I think, was like the best defenseman in the Four Nations or whatever. So, he put himself in front. He's a big body, and he gets the redirect, goes in. Amazing, right? And he was hitting hard. I don't think this led to any goal, but it led to a good scoring chance where he went hard onto the boards, used his feet, his long stick to make a one-handed pass back to Suzuki to Hudson, and then like they generate a good chance out of that. But like, yeah, it was great to see. He cooled down a little bit in the third. I don't know if it was because he was trying to do too much again, or if he was actually trying to do too little because you're up by 3 or 4 and you're playing your first line less. I don't know what it was. I didn't see him much more in the third. It wasn't necessary, obviously. At that point, you just want to like keep the game tight, make you short shifts, not have any tired bodies out there. But yeah. Anyways, kudos to Slav. Again, hopefully he returns on Thursday with his confidence and just keeps on producing. Because he's playing with so much confidence right now. Like every pass he's making is just right to the tape, and like he's going through the boards, retrieving all the pucks. It's really good to see. Like he has all the tools and he's putting it together. So hopefully, he keeps it up. Suzuki, 3 points. Whew. Oh, captain, my captain. It's been a while, eh? I like some of the comments on Reddit that they were mentioning how Suzuki seems to cool down every time he approaches the point per game pace, and then like when he's back off and you're thinking, hey, he's not gonna make the point per game, damn it, he just goes on a tear and gets 6 points in 2 games or something like that. So amazing to see. His goal was clutch. Good pass by Laine. I mean, good hustle by Hudson, pass by Caulfield, who gets his 200th point. I was thinking how funny it was that Caulfield got his 100th goal way before his 200th point, meaning he has more goals than assists. Goal scorers. Anyways, so Caulfield gets his 200th, obviously hype for that. But Laine also gets 3 points, and one of those was that pass to Suzuki, which was the third goal. On the power play. On our power play, it wasn't generating much until that point. Like, it took us a while to figure out Carolina's penalty kill. So we had, I think, 5 power plays. We scored in the last 2, but it took us a while, and we like wasted a 3-on-5, a 5-on-3 opportunity where like a lot of space opens up, but we couldn't figure it out. Like they defended that 5-on-3 pretty well, and like Suzuki was passing with Hudson, and they were trying to find either Laine or Caulfield, but Caulfield and more Caulfield. Laine was moving around a little bit, but Caulfield was not moving at all. He was just there with his stick up, like right beside the net, and like just one defenseman was able to shut down the lane to both Laine and Caulfield. So Suzuki is finding Laine the whole time, but the defenseman is blocking the shot, so Laine goes back to Suzuki, and then Suzuki fakes Laine and goes Caulfield, but the defenseman reads it because he knows he's blocking Laine the whole time, so he knows Suzuki's going to try to find Caulfield now, and just puts his stick and interrupts the pass. So, not great. You want to convert on those chances. I think at that point we were up by 2, and we needed that one extra goal for insurance, right? And he just doesn't convert on that 5-on-3, and like, we have a good power play. We have 2 shooting threats. How we need to convert on those 5-on-3s. There's no excuse. We need to be better. And I think just having 2 of your 5 be very stationary, having Hudson and Suzuki moving around, it's good. Laine was moving a little bit, here and there, trying to find some space, but both Sapkowski and Caulfield were just stationary, each one of them on a post. I think you need to mix it up a little bit. Yeah, sure, have them there, but have them go back so the defenseman moves and creates those lanes, right? The commentators mentioned it, and it clicked. They were just very stationary, and Suzuki couldn't find Caulfield. Laine was blocked. Yeah, but we do generate that goal after with by Suzuki. What a shot! Just puts it in the corner. No way he's catching that. They gave him too much space and time. Yeah, good to see. Laine. So Dak is out with some body injury. Hopefully it's not too long. We need Dak to play games. I still fully believe Dak can figure it out. I still believe he's our long-term either third line center or hopefully second line. I know it's difficult. He lost a lot of games, so that's why it's really important for him to play these games. Hopefully his injury is not too long of term. And speaking about injuries, hopefully Anderson is good. He went hard into the boards, and apparently the people at the Bell Center saw him collapse to his knees on the bench, so they're all thinking concussion, which he did look a little concussed after on the ice. He took a while to get up and was a little gingerly. He gingerly went to the bench, and apparently he collapsed on the bench. They didn't show it on the feed, but yeah, that's what I read, and it makes sense. So hopefully he's not out long term, because if Dak is still out and Anderson is out, who do you call up? Right, we have Beck playing on Dak's line, which I'm gonna get to that point because I was gonna talk about the Beck line with Laine. Now you would have Anderson out, which I'm assuming he's gonna be out for a little bit at least with concussion protocol. Who do you call up? Who do you get? What? I don't know. Maybe he's not been playing well. I don't even know if he's still playing because he's been injured a bunch. Davidson, I would like to see Davidson. I think he has a similar role to what Anderson does. It has less speed, but he plays a similar game. I would like to see Davidson, but you cripple Laval, who also has been riddled with injuries. Jacky, that would be fun. Probably not going to happen, but could be fun, right? I'm talking about baby Jacky, by the way, not moving Jacky too forward. I think it's probably going to be Paré-Boulet, I forget his name, ABB, or RHP, Raphael Harvey. I'm not going to pretend to say that in French. Harvey Pinard. Yeah, I'm still practicing my French. So I think it's going to be one of those two, but we'll see. Hopefully, maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, and Anderson plays next game. He's been very solid this season. I think he had a really bad season last one, and he's adopted this role where he knows he's not going to score a bunch of goals, but he creates offense, and that line actually generated 2 or 3 of the penalties. So they gave us 3 power plays, I think. Dvorak got 1, Gali got 1. Yeah. So they create offense for the rest of the lines. So they play an important role, and I think all 4 lines are playing an important role right now. So hopefully Anderson's not. out for too long. Anyways, I was going to talk about Laine and their line. So it's Newhook, Beck, and Laine. I like them overall. After the game, knowing how it ended and how it went, I like that line. At the start, it was a little rough. So they were hemmed in their zone for a bunch of time. They're not good defensively. Beck, I think, is going to be good defensively, but he still is very inexperienced, right? So they didn't get a lot of O zone time. They were stuck in the D zone, and yeah, Laine plays a little bit too what's it called? Uncareful with the puck in the O zone. So they went into the O zone a few times, and then they lost the puck pretty fast, and they had to go back on D. But after that, the second half of the second period and all the third period, I think they played pretty well. I think it took them a little bit to get some synergy together, but I think they figured it out, or they I don't know, they get more chances. So Beck played pretty well. He doesn't get his first point yet, but I'm sure it'll happen soon. He's playing really well. Newhook and Laine, yeah, and they adapt to having Beck on center instead of Dak, and I think they play fairly well. I think Beck delivered as a second line center, at least in yesterday's game. So good to see from him. I think he's now between injuries and probably trade deadline and whatnot. I think Beck is gonna spend more time with the Habs than in Laval for the rest of the season. We'll see. Okay, I did say I was gonna talk about Rantanen, and I'll keep it short. I was only looking more at his game because when the trade rumors about him being traded out of Colorado were happening, I was sort of just entertaining the idea of how fun it would be to have him with Laine on a line, just Rantanen, Laine on a good center. It would be cool, right? Maybe Demidov playing center. I don't know. Obviously, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but you like to fantasize as a fan. That's what you do, right? So I was entertaining the idea. But watching him play on Carolina, that was rough. Like I said, the Laine goal bounces off him. That's unlucky. Nothing he can do there. But he was coughing up the puck a lot. He gets a penalty. He cross-checks Matheson. Couldn't put the puck in. Hudson steals the puck away from him. I didn't see many positives of him yesterday, and I saw a lot of negatives. I'll keep it there. Probably it was a bad game by him, but yeah, was it McKinnon all along that had their Rantanen be magical, or will he be able to figure it out in a Carolina system? I don't know. There's a lot of rumors that he's gonna be out of Carolina soon. We'll see. Yeah, I talk about Anderson. Hoping he's okay, and I already mentioned that I like Matheson's game. That he was stuck for 3 minutes out there. Oh, at some point Montembeault loses his stick, and I think it was Caulfield that at some point he gets the puck, realizes that Montembeault doesn't have a stick, and just puts the puck really high up, giving enough time for everybody to change and for Montembeault to grab his stick. I think that's pretty smart. I think we tried to get the puck out of our zone the normal way a few times. It didn't work. They kept us in our zone. Montembeault without his stick. Just ice the puck, get the fuck out. Give it time for the goalie to get his stick right at those points. And Caulfield realizes that, and he puts it up. He doesn't even ice it, so that's even better. But yeah, good to see. And the last point I have here is it was a tight second period. It was a very tough, tight second period. I think I already mentioned it. Only 8 shots. And yeah, other than the power play goal, we're not generating much. So my last point is going to be Hudson goal. He hadn't scored in 17 or something. He regains the scoring lead as a rookie, as a defenseman. And I wanted to end it with there because I'll use it as a hook for next game, because we have the 2 top rookies facing each other once again. Friends a year ago, enemies now. Yes. Celebrini, Hudson, fight! Yeah. We get the Habs versus Sharks Thursday night in Montreal. Should be fun. I'll see you there. But for now, don't forget to leave all the feedback you have. Do you like my videos? Do you hope to see anything else? Do you want me to leave them shorter? Do you want me to yap longer? Include some other stuff? I don't know. Any feedback you have, positive, negative, leave it out there. Thank you very much for watching. Go Habs, go! I almost fucked that up.